There are assets which will give your portfolio a taste of green, and you can trade all of them. But there will be one asset which will test your patience till that ultimate moment, and those who pass that test will reap that benefit. XRP is one among that asset which has this ability. Look at the technicals, the charts, you will understand what I'm pointing you towards. The power to create millionaires from a middle class investor. That is the power of an asset which, when you have that timing, will give you that ability to reap that benefit. But yes, the ultimate decision and the consequences lies with you. But what have you learned about making money by investing? Is it buy low and sell high, or the opposite? At least for me, it's buy low in the market cycle and then sell high or start taking profit when it reaches its all-time highs. That's what I have learned. Now, I agree, there are other assets which pump while you wait for XRP to go up, and that kind of tempts you. You look at the coin market cap, coin paprika, live coin watch, or anything, and you see, okay, another asset is going up. Should I just jump out from this and go into that? It's kind of confusing. I really agree. And if you want to trade, then yes, you need to time those markets because you are looking at shorter time frame movements. Now, if you do not do that to perfection, yeah, I agree, not everyone can time the market well, but if you do that with discipline, you can still make profits. Look at this opportunity. It was a clear opportunity, and if you trade that with discipline, you already took out 50 to 60% of profit. And that's just one asset. But when you look at the entire opportunities which are popping out, you can definitely look at these. Say, for example, Atom is another one, AV is another one. All of these are popping out. And when these are popping out with discipline, you reach a point where you can understand these. Say, this is an opportunity which I posted back. That is the target for Cosmos or Atom. Now you go back here, it's Cosmos or Atom, it's the same. And then you see the return of yesterday, which actually pumped. Now you don't actually know when it's going to pop. Tomorrow, day after tomorrow, you don't know that. But you position yourself using that discipline. Now how will you do that? Yes, with the ability of charting and the ability to analyze how the investors or traders are reacting to a price level at that particular time. Now, if you can do that, you are reading the minds of others. Because if you look at this opportunity which I posted for my Patreons, look at the time period when the price was moving up. Now, initially, as we were going through, I was updating all of them who entered here at the break or the retest, first retest. It then faked out inside. So those who just said, that SI posted this one, but that's not working. And those who jumped out, it's okay for them. If they had a better opportunity, cool. But those who waited are reaping the benefits. Now, yesterday I updated this saying, we are going through, we are making profits. So, always consider taking profits. And now, if you go back and look at the price of Atom, it's 8.04. So that's another 10-20% to the upside. So that's another asset. And this one is AV. That's also nearing our target. We were walking through that target. Now, say in 10 or 20 days, 80% for me, that's cool. Yes, I'm not a guy who will be giving you 200, 500, 300% profit in a day. But if you want to trade while you hold this asset, which is the XRP, to make more money, to put in and buy more of this, or just to widen your portfolio, give that breadth and depth to your investing, yes, you can always think about SI. Welcome to the Scientific Investor family, where we discuss crypto and science behind investing regularly. So when you see opportunities like this, always think, if you understand the pattern, you measure a pattern, you project a pattern, Now target 70 to 80% of that pattern. Start taking your profits at that time. It would always help you to stay liquid, and if you see another opportunity while you wait for this target to complete, you can still move on because you have that capital and you have that profit. So you can use the capital for another asset, profit for another asset. So that gives you an additional leverage. Just the timing and discipline is a little bit difficult. So if you want these kind of updates for your portfolio or different assets which you are interested in, you can always look at the SI's Patreon. The link is actually given in the description. So if you want to join, you can always consider that. Now, the market is changing. There is a lot of news popping out. Now, if you want to go through all of them and try to see what it states, look at these. Kind of say first, it's an old post, kind of reiterating that there is a need for unlocking that liquidity. Now, in what scenario I'm talking about this, I'll take you guys through that fundamentals. Then, Reuters put this one out. Spend as much as you can, from IMF chief. So this is the same individual here. So when you actually look at that, this is the case. IMF head is urging to spend as much as you can to stay relevant. So now what you're going to see is majority of the countries are already printing money, towards that unlimited area of money printing. The mission is going brrr, but now they are all saying push another leg more. If you have your money in fiat currencies, watch out for that huge inflation. Even we may actually move towards the hyperinflation, but always understand you have opportunities. If you want to store your wealth, increase your purchasing power, think about it. When central banks need to print more, in this scenario, when everything is going digitized, things are moving into a new area, there are issues. As James highlights here, there are a lot of issues. When you go digital, there is a lot of issues. Now, if you can read, try to. Because one of the main problem here would be faced by the financial institutions who process payments. Insurers, credit unions, all of them related to payments. Now, the scammers are just not scamming so that you are stressed. They're doing it for money. So at the end of the day, it's about money. It's about the movement of money. They track the movement of money and then they try to scam you. Now, if you go through and read through this, they actually highlight how they are doing that. If you want to stay protected, you can go through. But our point here today is not about that. Our point here today is about the new financial infrastructure. Now, this document is from BIS. We're going through page number 6 of that. If you want to read through this, I'll actually put the links in the description if you want to go through. If you want, take it from Google, it's okay, cool. This is the title and this is the article. So now we jump back into the page number 6 here. So we want to see what it really means, right? If you look at the percentages, you can always understand these are scenarios where it is affecting. Now at the top, if you look at that, the red one here in the diamond, it's financial sector. Always understand it's all about money. So now when this is happening, there is a technology using which they can manage current systems and current issues. So the IMF put this one out. 2020 was the last year since the Great Depression. Remember, I told you guys way before we started all of this that something like this is coming, and I personally still don't believe that it's over, because watching central banks printing money, and then right now I am urging them to print more. I think a huge hyperinflation is about to kick in, and say you have $1 million USD or $100 million USD in your bank account sitting there as cash. Say Warren Buffett. He's a guy with billions in cash. What if a hyperinflation kicks in and your purchasing power depreciates? So that's why most of them are looking at gold, silver or crypto to store their wealth or increase their purchasing power during these times of uncertainty. Now, when we look at that, for governments and central banks, they have an option and they are trying to execute that. This post from the Cryptic Poet highlights the technical partner manages central banks. So Ripple, the company in UK, is trying to recruit a guy who can work with central banks. Now, why are they working on central banks? If you read this, it's about the open source protocol development and innovation that enables the Internet of Value. Example, the XRP ledger, interledger protocol, PayID. Now, all of this are working fine. Just the news will give you that headache and make you think, nah, nothing is going on. Now, and in the comment here, I actually saw Chesty Puller's Ghost putting this one out, and that really shows you something from the history. So this is back in 2016. This document is old, but if you read through here, you will certainly understand that there is something which is really interesting. I don't know whether you can actually read this one, but I'm trying my max so that you can. Now the system is showing something weird. Anyway, if you want to follow that one, you can go see Chesty Puller's Ghost. Now what I'll try to read that out, and so that you guys get that taste. Now, it is completely about showing Ripple Labs' involvement in digital currency space, and the US government understand this. So this is from the Securities and Exchange Commission. So back in 2016, they understood what the company is about, and they are trying completely to give you that perspective, right? When they put out documents like this, it's actually to institutions. But if you get an access to that, it's kind of a solution for it. You will read through that, you will understand what the scenario is about, and then you kind of have that. So I managed to get the actual one. I didn't actually recognize it was there. Anyway, service as an advisor for digital currency company called Ripple Labs. He has founded numerous prior business in the digital currency, telecommunications, fashion industries, and he currently serves as chairman of Chamber of Digital Commerce. Does that sound really bad for you? If you want to read through that, you can again come and start from here. So Melon is an experienced businessman. Cool. He's a graduate of University of Pennsylvania. Cool. And he has founded a numerous different companies in these different spaces. Okay, that's great. Now he's a chairman of Chamber of Digital Commerce. Now this is back then, right? So where is he working at that time? Ripple Labs. So if that company doesn't have that kind of potential, these guys will never come in. And that's when they came in the market cycle, when we were bottoming out in that 2014, 2015 area, and then in 2016 area. So those who accumulated that time reaped the benefit. Now, yes, majority of you guys who are new missed that one. But when you say you missed that one, you also have to understand that bear market here back in 2015 December, which started, ended all the way up to 2017 March. So in number of days, it's 832 days. Okay, right now we got even more than that, right? So if we are considering that, we got even more. Why? If you look at the percentage of fluctuation happening here after that rise of, say, if you are putting that into percentage in XRP BTC pay, it's like, say, 2000%. Now the same thing, if you're actually putting that in after this bump, you are going to receive a huge number, which is like 5600%. So that's double. If it is double that, you can even expect double that time for correction or the bear market here. So now you take from the top, as of now, you haven't reached that double. So if you're still, saying there is no opportunity, it's completely up to you. But always do understand, you buy any asset to make profit, you'll buy at the bottom. And for me, at least for my eyes, it definitely feels like XRP BTC pair is at the all-time lows. Now, why is that important? Because when you actually look at XRP BTC pair and understand that it is at the all-time lows, and then you look at the XRP USD pair and understand the all-time low was a little bit back, say March last year March, and it is moving in a new trend. So if you look at that new trend, it really looks valid. Then you look at these two wicks at the bottom, it came towards one area. Wow. Then the close of that, you look at this, it's at similar area. The price point is there, 0.14. Now even if you consider the bottom of 0.11 or the close of 0.14, we are way above that right now. See, right now from that close, it's 100% in profit. Right now from the bottom, it's again around 300% in profit. Now, if you look at the top, which we put in around 0.78, yes, we also did that cool thing in return on investment. If you measure it from the bottom here till that top, yes, we moved up 550%. So those who are saying this asset doesn't move need to understand they need patience. If you don't have patience, you will see all of these green numbers and then you will be like, okay, I'm going to move into that asset. Now, say if it moved like crazy for a couple of days or a couple of weeks, what will you actually do going in there? If you are buying an asset when it is at all-time highs, now that's completely up to you. If you believe that asset is going to go way higher than that, it's okay. But do understand you are investing not for the love of that asset, but for the profit, the return on investment. So in that perspective, you always have to understand what you do and why you do. Now, based on what we just saw, the IMF is not only suggesting that, but at the same time, they are suggesting on a global economic outlook and policies towards a greener and fairer, smart recovery. They are looking at this technology, they are looking at the current financial system, and they are saying they want it green. Now, when they say green, it's completely easy to understand that's always about a digital asset which doesn't need much of an energy. Yeah, you will say you will use secondary scaling solutions, tertiary, that kind of shits, but that doesn't matter. If that infrastructure doesn't have that ability in that core infrastructure, it's going to be really difficult to combine many different stuff. Now, yes, you can argue that XRP ledger doesn't have the smart contract ability in the infrastructure, but it was not designed for that. It was designed for as a payment network. So if you're saying BTC was designed as a payment network, you can reassess that and say, okay, how is it doing right now? It's been 10-12 years. If you send a payment right now, how much time it will take? How much cost it will take? All of these has to be considered. Now, this from Bank XRP highlights the SEC is likely to continue to go after thousands of initial coin offerings. This space is going to be shaken. And when the price is at the bottom, the trend is changing back to the upside. Now we are just waiting for it to go against BTC. That means XRP BTC pair going up and BTC in a correction, or BTC staying there without much of a movement. Now why do I say that? Because I can actually take you guys directly to say Bitcoin dominance chart here and then show you this. On a weekly, you are getting resistance, and on a weekly you are getting a shooting star there. Now, those who are not familiar with that, it's kind of a reversal pattern. You started that bullish rally from here, you corrected, you pumped that 20-day, the 50-day moving average acted as a support, you went up. Now, if we move on a daily and look at this, you will definitely understand where we are going to move. But right now, we have a support around 68.33. Once we break that, we will directly come towards 66.28 and then 65. If that level holds till that time, the alts will run. But if that level doesn't hold and it goes down, that means the altcoins has a lot of room to run. Now, to compare this, you always can go into the altcoin market cap and look at it. Those who are familiar with what I do here already understood when we reached this area, I told there is a possible correction coming and we went down. Now we are going back. We have to break this particular resistance, and once we do this in altcoins, we are going to go much higher than this. Now, when BTC corrects like what I just showed you and altcoin jumps, XRP will also move. It is a slow mover in the space. I currently agree with that, but you always understand, you will understand this once you miss this opportunity. If it makes sense for you to sell an asset which is at the all-time lows and you're entering into another asset which is at the highs, I don't actually understand that sense, but I've seen a lot of guys dumping XRP right now and moving into Link. Yes, it kind of makes a sense if you were doing that when the price of Link was at $1, $5, $10, or at least 15 or below that. Because right now, if you are looking at the return on your investment now, yes, you can say that the price went from 15 to 20. I do agree with that. But in terms of percentage, how much is it, the increase? How much are you looking from this point? So if an asset is hitting its all-time high, if you are moving right now, how much return on your investment are you looking at? Even if it doubles from that all-time high of 20 and reaches 40, which I personally think is possible, it can happen, it's still 100% profit. Now from here in XRP, if we are pumping to the all-time highs, you have to understand that is a huge fluctuation of 5,000%. So you are looking at 100, 200% in other assets which already moved up, and here you have the potential to gain 5,000%. Now, the decision is always up to you. If you want an asset which has that potential to reach that 5,000%, say 4,000 to be precise here, that's 40x. Instead of looking for 2x, 3x in an asset which already reached highs, you can always look at another asset which has that potential. Now, it's not only XRP right now. There are other assets in top 10, top 20, top 50, which can give you that 10, 20, 30x. But these won't happen in a day or two. You always have to think like an investor, act like an investor, and trade like an investor if you're trading medium term at least. If you're going short term, it's going to be risky, volatile, and stressful for you to handle this situation. Now, I really do think you guys, if you're trading, if you're an investor long term, no need. You just sit tight, go through this, keep your emotions away. If you are an investor, and you want these kind of stuff in medium term at least, if you have that patience level, you can look at the Patreon. The link is always in the description for you to take out these benefits when others are doing it. Now, it's not only one or two guys doing that. Right now, we have around near 500 Patreons. And I hope all of them are happy as we discuss through and understand what it means, right? There will be a lot of questions, a lot of answers you get for different assets. You see different opportunities. So guys, I definitely believe you received value for your time, and if you did, please do hit that like and subscribe button. If you like to get more value and you want more support, you can look at that Patreon, PayPal, or the XRP wallet address given in the description below. But if you're using the PayPal or the XRP wallet address, do email me in that PayPal email ID before you do that. So that we'll discuss first, and then you initiate your payment. You don't want to pay before what you have a discussion and a confirmation on what you want. So guys, I'll meet you on the next video. Bye for now.